So for those of you that aren't able to sit and listen to some of the 2-3 hour conversations that I've had in my podcast, I'm doing show notes summaries that are available on Patreon, and I'll be releasing some on here. What I wanted to do here is give a show note summary for the Rooster Scroll podcast, episode number 3 with Jonathan Peugeot. This is the first time he appeared on the podcast. If you're interested in watching what we spoke was right early 2020, I believe. So it's interesting to look at what we were exploring back then at the beginning of the COVID-19 situation that was just happening. But if you want to listen to the entire conversation, it's linked below. Feel free to subscribe to my Patreon. I really appreciate. Feel free to support me by buying me a cup of coffee. Really appreciate you guys. So this is going to be a summary of the Rooster Scroll podcast, episode 3, Jonathan Peugeot. So the Rooster Scroll podcast is focused on engaging with ideas, people, and culture that send out signals of warning and caution, but also hope and viable ways forward. In this episode, Jonathan Peugeot, a father, a husband, Orthodox Christian, an icon carver who, along with his brothers, making a significant impact on the cultural zeitgeist through their work on ancient symbolism. Conversation explores the relevance of symbolism in today's world as materialism has reached its limit and people are beginning to realize the importance of first-person experience and category structures. The symbolic world is both the world of symbolism and the notion that the world itself is symbolic and encompasses factuality. Next part of the conversation, we mentioned that explaining symbolism is a sort of last-ditch resort and actually a bad sign. People who are not the most intellectual types may find symbolism easier to grasp as it is intuitively understood. Intellectual types are necessary for directing culture, creating waves in culture. We suggest that the way to influence cultures through stories, embodied experiences, rituals, and celebrations, citing the liturgical year as the ultimate example. Hollywood and video games also use storytelling to influence culture. We also explain that during the liturgy, there's a concentration, and one is ascending a mountain towards the liturgy of the faithful. As the liturgy progresses, the doors are closed, and those who aren't ready are left at the bottom of the mountain. The liturgy helps us unite ourselves with that which is above. We then discuss our experiences with COVID-19 and the lockdowns that have resulted. We express frustration with the conflicting and often manipulative information provided by authorities about the number of cases and deaths. We note the absurdity of guidelines which set bringing one's own utensils and plates to family gatherings while large stores such as Walmart remain open and crowded. We speculate that there may be a planned or emergent shift in society and the role of government in people's lives with potentially dire consequences. We discuss the importance of having conversations with family and friends to address these issues and encourage critical thinking. Then we discuss how the internet has changed the way attention is demanded from users, with everything being based on quantity of attention rather than quality. This has led to a massive attention economy that prioritizes profits over material understanding. We argue that there is no way to reorganize the incentive structures to pose algorithms to do good. Instead, the world needs to be properly ordered with a spiritual hierarchy, which recognizes individuals with individual attention and quality attention. In the past, people at the bottom had the capacity to recognize those with the quality attention and elevate them as holy people or spiritual fathers. However, because the spiritual hierarchy has been destroyed or inverted, it is difficult to create a normal hierarchy of reality. We believe that the best we can do is hope for is an upside down religion, which may already be present in online spaces and will eventually formalize. Next, the conversation covers the need for artists to move towards a more integrated vision of art, one that will heal people from the, quote, disease of art that has happened in the modern age. We believe that art can bridge gaps and create healing through its beauty, meaning, and impact. We also discuss the benefits of prayer, including the way it helps focus attention on things that matter and the power of gratitude to cohere the world. Finally, the conversation ends with a discussion of the fractal effect of hierarchy and sacrifice in building structures from individual homes to entire cities. We argue that hierarchy is inevitable, but Christ's teachings show that the top of the hierarchy must give of itself to those below. This creates a balance between hierarchy and peace. Christ embodies this sacrificial hierarchy by going all the way down to death and then changing death into glory. This idea can be applied to many structures, including families and corporations, to create a balance between hierarchy and peace. The key is for those in power to embody sacrificial leadership rather than using their power for personal gain. This fundamental structure can help fix organizations and societies that have become corrupted by power and greed. So that is it. That is the summary of the conversation. Again, it's available in the description if you want to watch the entire one. I'll be doing more of these. Love to get your feedback. And until next time, God bless.